Like I mentioned shortly after I joined YouTube, that I don't really resemble my original avatar from the forum where I met most of my friends like Monarch, Classic Blast, Blast Girl, Bean Girl, Demona, and the list goes on and on. I don't want to mention too many people for a couple of different reasons. If I mentioned some people and not others, I wouldn't want them to think favoritism. It's just my Polish memory might slip for a moment. Well, I that forum had about 150 or more avatars that you could use. And none of them really looked like me, and I didn't really have the patience to say, hey, that's kind of cool, that's kind of cool. Well, one sort of looked like my dad, and it didn't look just like him either, but it kind of did, so I picked that one. And when I first came on, I said, well, being that we're Republicans, I hope it doesn't look too much like Bill Clinton. And Broint, I think, said, well, I wasn't thinking Bill Clinton. I was thinking Leslie Nielsen or Steve Martin. Okay. Well, my dad kind of looks as much like Leslie Nielsen or Steve Martin as that avatar. So, fair enough. Well, since my full hair isn't white yet, I guess I don't really look like that avatar. And people say, gee, you're younger than I thought you were. Because when they met me on YouTube, I was 36 and not, whatever age the man in the avatar is. Well, I opened up a file to look for something this morning, and I found a page that I printed from that forum. So, with that, we're going to have... This is the original avatar that I used to represent me. And the reason I had printed this in the first place is because Maggot Farm 808 was a good friend of ours, and Rusty Starfish had painted his avatar originally, and the server that hosted it crashed. But I had printed this page because I could print it because I hadn't turned my computer off to that page, and it wasn't updated when I found out that his avatar was gone. So I printed it. I printed it in case Rusty Starfish wasn't able to recover it, that maybe I could email or fax or something him this picture so that he could rehost it. But Rusty was still around and he was able to redraw it, or he had it on file, his computer file, and I made a profile for Maggot Farm 808 on Lewasite, but he's never come, which is too bad because he's real cool. But he was a rocker, so Rusty drew him this avatar with rocker-type hair, and it's very cool, and I miss Maggot Farm still. He's one of the few members of the old forum that haven't found their way to Lewasite that I actually do miss. And of course, that's the original image of me. There aren't that many Baron of Braps and Broint. Other than that, there really aren't that many. A lot of them were trolls, and some of them were okay, but, if they didn't come around, they didn't come around. But Maggot Farm and his buddy Little Hellion are a couple that were real cool, and I wish they'd find their way to Lewasite. And they have common interests that my son has. My son would probably be a little more active if those guys would be active. He'd be more active anyway, but his mother only allows him to use the computer so much. But my wife has the right idea. He shouldn't become too much of a, locked in front of the computer and not do anything else. So my wife has the right idea. Anyway, this will be uploading while I'm at work, because it takes about an hour or two for my computer to upload all my blogs. I don't know if I'll post any videos this week, but I'll be on the net.